Critter friends, this is Soraya and thank you so much for being here. So the first thing I wanted to say before I dive into this portrait, which I am absolutely loving by the way, like when I left it, there were parts of it that I really loved, but there were parts of it I was like, I don't know, there's this weird kind of this black, which was part of my projects that I did. I used the sheet to, make videos on like 4 different prompts. So I was like, this looks kind of weird and whatever, but now I think it looks interesting because like when I look at this, and it's not done by any means, but my eye is so drawn to this, but not in a negative way, like not in a, oh, like that's so weird. It's drawn to it like in a sense of curiosity, like, what is that? Is that an earring? Is that part of the background? Is that like, it's just like I'm so drawn to that. And that's a large feat for, well, for me anyways, for this big black dot spot, shape to take precedence over this bindi over here. Because I am instantly drawn to the bindi. It's in the middle of the forehead, the color, etc., etc., the symbolism, etc. But my eye just keeps on, like, it's like a play off, and then this, because these are ovals. Excuse me, these are ovals, and like it's just a really interesting kind of a situation. So I don't know if I'm gonna keep it, but I just wanted to point that out. What might seem like, oh my god, I'm just, I don't even think twice about it, I'm gonna cover it when I come back, but now I'm like, you know what, I don't know, I really like that. It's just one of those weird unplanned things, which is another reason that it is so important for us to step outside of our comfort zones and to, yeah, start off with an abstract, start off with something weird and random, and then paint something over top of it. You just never know what's gonna happen, you guys. Anyways, just another thing before I go on, you guys, is I totally burnt myself with a hot glue gun, and it is so painful. It's healing a little bit, but it's so painful. And one of the things is I love using a hot glue gun, but I always inevitably get burnt. And I don't know if I have to wear like specific kind of gloves. Like you can't use like the, what is it, the latex gloves, because I think it would burn it. So I really don't know, you guys, but in the beginning when I'm using the hot glue gun, I'm like, okay, don't burn yourself, don't burn yourself. And then inevitably I get lost in what I'm doing, and like 10 minutes later I'm just like, oh, I'm just in the flow and in my zone and whatever, and I get burnt so badly. Oh, it's so painful, you guys. Anyways, I'm so sorry about that. But yeah, be careful when using the hot glue gun is the lesson of this story. But I'm just, oh, I'm so smitten with this, you guys. It's not my usual kind of color palette. It's not my usual thing where I would divide the page into like 4 parts like this. It was divided pretty equally, I think. But because I put the figure like this, the face, it does offset some of that, like, like very static kind of 4 divisions here. So yeah, I'm really just, there's so much about this that is not my usual thing, but I'm really digging it, So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work a little bit on the hair, because I do want to kind of fill in some of the like some of the colors here, like I want to kind of solidify the face a little bit, including the hair. And I think the hair might come down here, so only part of this black circle is gonna show. Another thing, you guys, while I'm working on this, I just wanted to point out that if anybody was interested in me sharing things that I have learned about how to read a painting, I could look into making a video about that, because I thought about it after and I was like, maybe there's some interest in that. I don't know. There's no one way to read a painting, and everybody is different. Of course, every painting is different. It's going to be subjective. But one of the interesting things that I learned in my art history class, and this was so interesting to me, is like, okay, so if you read in a language that reads like, say English. With English, you are going to be reading left to right. So you go like this, like this, like this. But there are languages where you read the other way, right? And so languages where you read left to right, you generally enter a painting the same way. And then, if you read like right to left, you enter the painting that way as well. Isn't that interesting? I just thought that was a very interesting detail. Now, of course, that doesn't always hold true because sometimes, artists, they put leading lines, they do all sorts of things that just force you pretty much to enter the painting in a certain way. And one of my art classes I took a long time ago, the teacher said that actually artists are like directors, and you look at your painting as like a movie or a play, and you're directing not only the elements on your page, but you're actually directing the viewer as well, because you're like saying, hey, I'm directing you to enter the painting this way, to look over here, to move your eye around like this. Like, I don't do any of that stuff, you guys. That, I don't know, that seems like that would break my brain. I do not do that. I kind of go from emotion. I mean, of course, yeah, I want to understand basic composition and stuff like that, but no, I do not. I don't do that. Yeah, but there are artists who do that. Yeah. So anyways, you guys, if you were interested in, just learning a little bit more about how to not, and I don't want to say how to read a painting, because there is no right or wrong way to read a painting, but maybe like some general principles on how paintings are read, maybe that's a better way to phrase it. But maybe, maybe it might be interesting. I don't know. Anyways, I'm really just digging a lot of what's going on here. So I like the juxtaposition of the kind of abstract background, with the, I guess, more like realistic type of portrait. Like, you can see this is a face, it's not abstract. Like, I kind of like that. Like, it's just interesting, to me. I like that a lot. So I'm gonna kind of go like so. And I like the fact that her eyes are looking out of the painting, which I had a very strong premonition, I guess. Like, hey, I want her eyes to be looking, I don't know. It's just sometimes I get this really strong feeling like, hey, I want her eyes to be looking outside the painting. It just adds a lot of drama and curiosity, and it just makes it like a really interesting kind of a thing. I just am drawn to that. So, and I'm not using a lot of color for her face, really. I'm kind of keeping that kind of neutral, actually. So I'm going to work on the eyes just a little bit, but I don't want to, like, I don't want to get too fussy. So about using abstract, you guys, like, I was doing the lessons from Elena Hennessy's book about using abstracts and then painting over top of it. That is a really good tool to loosen up and step outside your comfort zone, and allow for very unusual things to happen, like this black circle here, for instance. I would never think to do that. I've drawn earrings or painted earrings, but that's not an earring, and like, it would be positioned differently and etc. So it just allows, and even if I cover it up at the end, or I come back to it 6 months from now and I go, oh, I don't like that, I'm going to cover it up. It's okay, because right now I'm enjoying it. And right now it's, just like giving me all these ideas. So Yeah, I think using abstracts as a starting point is really, really cool, which is, I think, why I love doing my backgrounds, you know? I just love them. It's like therapy, honestly, you guys. And it just instantly puts you in that beginner's mind flow state. And I'm just gonna kind of... Now I am gonna, when this dries, I am gonna come back and add more tea bags to the hair, but I want it to dry. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with the background. Like, I don't know, like, hey, am I gonna, you know, am I gonna keep this part? I don't know, but it's okay. I'm really loving where this is going. And I kind of right now and am enjoying the fact that the faces kind of got a lot of like more neutral skin colors. Like, I didn't put a lot of reds or anything in there. I am gonna modify, I think, the color of the bindi. Okay, I'm gonna add more red to it, but not now because I want this to dry. Anyways, you guys, let me know about the reading a painting. If you guys are interested in, you know, just different aspects of reading a painting, I will work on making a video about that. And if you guys have any other ideas of videos for me to make, I would really appreciate it. So I hope you guys are doing really well and creating, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.